She's the managing director of Charles Schwab, leading teams and driving strategy, all while shaping the future of finance. I sat down here today with Lisa to talk about leadership and what the next generation needs to know. Lisa, you're a managing director at one of the most influential firms in finance. What early decisions or experiences helped shape your path to this role?
I just really think you need to be open to trying different things, especially when you're young in your career, and really pay attention to where you get your energy and what drives you. So, for me in my career, and I know this sounds very simple, it's doing work that really matters, that has a big impact, being able to learn, and doing it with people you really respect and admire. So, at Charles Schwab, I have a team that I absolutely love working with. I get to work with registered investment advisors, so independent businesses, and I love that part of the industry and how innovative and client-centric it is. And we have a phenomenal culture here that really helps you grow your career. So all of those things have mattered a lot, and that's what's kept me here for actually 19 years. That's a really big number. I never thought I'd say.
That's amazing. It's really nice to hear that, like you find your passion and you find the people that you love to do work with, and then you're kind of there. Like that's when you've made it. Okay, with the RIA space projected to need 70,000 new hires in the next 5 years, what should students be focusing on now to prepare for long-term leadership in this industry?
So the great thing about the RA space and why it's a really attractive place to work is there's so much growth. So that's what's driving that number. Right now we work with about 15,000 independent businesses across the country. And they want to talk to people like you, people who are very driven, who want to get out there and do really good work and help grow those firms. So what you can focus on now, your strengths, bringing new ideas forward. They love to hire certified financial planners. So one of the things my team does, we work with colleges and universities across the United States really to help develop and grow CFP or certified financial planner programs. But that doesn't mean there's not a place for other skill sets. These firms, some of them are growing and are billions and billions of dollars of assets under management. So when you think of finance, you think of investments and portfolio management and advising clients. Those things are really important. But so is the softer side. You're with people through some of the most meaningful and impactful moments in their lives. So coaching, relationships, those things matter. They need those types of soft skills. And then also things like technology, cybersecurity, marketing, all of those things have a place in this part of the industry. And as we begin to look at the future, we all see how much things are rapidly changing around AI. Your generation is going to be a big part of that. So we need you to come forward and help us all figure out that rapid change that's happening.
100%. Thank you. This is solid advice. So, in your experience leading, high-performing teams, what's something about great leadership that you had to learn the hard way, especially in, such a fast-moving space like financial services?
Leadership is probably one of the most important things, and it's never perfect. It's always evolving. What works in one situation might not work in another situation, just like all relationships, really, right? You need to take time. It's especially hard when you're a new leader. That moment when you become a leader of people that used to be your peers, that's a really challenging time. But you can get better at leadership. It's not something you're not just born to be a leader or not born to be a leader. You can study it. You can evolve your leadership philosophy. And it's really important for you to have a mentor or mentors. And I think that's something you can do. Either you can have one person for a long time, but that's kind of challenging sometimes. You can also just reach out to someone if you're working on something specifically, like, hey, I need to get better at public speaking. You can reach out to someone who's really good at that and just say, hey, could I meet with you and learn about that? And maybe it's just a situational mentorship. So learn from people who are good, have a network of people that you can bounce ideas off of, study leadership because it's one of the things that's going to matter the most for you in your career long term.
Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for sharing the importance of leadership with us, as well as, networking and having mentors, having people to learn from. So another thing is that you advise 15,000 independent advisory firms, which is super iconic, by the way. What shifts are you seeing now that could reshape how this industry operates in the next few years?
I mean, I think probably most of us would agree the biggest tectonic shift is really AI and AI utilization. It's changing incredibly rapidly. I think it's important in financial services. This is a trust business. This is people's life savings that we are protecting and advising. In my industry, we are the custodian of that money. We need to move carefully, but we also need to understand how the amazing parts of it. We need to understand the parts that we need to be very careful around and protect everything from a cybersecurity basis. I'm seeing across the industry, definitely note taking is already almost old news that's being deployed rapidly. There's some agentic ability that's coming into firms. These small businesses, in some cases, some of these businesses are enterprise sized. They can move rapidly in some cases, and sometimes just getting advisors together to share the ways they're being really creative generates amazing ideas. So talking to each other just like this, you can get some of your best ideas.
Thank you. This is really nice to know. And then also at a previous conference last week at the Bloomberg Future Investor Conference, you mentioned that firms invest 98% in tech and then 2% in training. But how can they exactly flip that? That mindset to stay competitive in the AI era, which, as you said, is coming right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think across the board, we might not always be the best at fully deploying the tech we already have, or maybe training people effectively, fully implementing workflows, or maybe always utilizing all the available APIs and things like that in my part of the business. I would say really look at what you already have and make sure you're using it really well. It's a change management exercise to make sure you're using what you already have. People are human. We don't always love change. And with AI, that's going to be a lot of change too. So really look and make sure that you're investing in the people and helping them understand how to use what you've already got, because usually companies and firms have invested a lot and you want to get everything you can out of the dollars you've already spent, right?
Yes, for sure. Yes, I think that's very important. And then also, as someone driving strategy and growth at Charles Schwab, how do you see financial services evolving by 2030? So this is kind of like a prediction question. And also, what do you think the next generation should be preparing for to actually, fit these changes?
We can never predict the future. So first, a disclaimer, I could never say what the future will bring. I think relationships are going to stay very important. So even as we have technology and amazing things that you and I probably couldn't even imagine is going to come with AI and all of that, I think people are still really going to value the human relationship, having someone look over, their investments and their strategy. I think my part of the business with registered investment advisors, they have 97% client retention for over a decade. So people love the high touch service that they get and the relationships that they build. I think more people will want that type of a relationship. So I expect this part of the business, which is already one of the fastest growing parts of financial services, continue to grow. And I think that's going to mean even more talent opportunities to pursue.
I think that's really, inspiring also and comforting in a way to know that, like that customer connection and like that human value is still going to be there. And it's very important, especially because, lots of people are apprehensive about AI, specifically because, they're worried that like humans will not communicate as much and like that customer relationship won't be there. So, hearing from you, Lisa, say that it's going to be there and it's going to be very important, like, now more than ever is really nice to hear. So you've seen firms ranging from $100 million to $100 billion in assets, which is amazing. What's one strategic advantage you think that smaller firms, tend to underestimate?
One thing that smaller firms do really well is they tend to adopt digital solutions faster.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting? So when we look at the data, and we work with even smaller than 100 and larger than $1 billion in AUM, 100 billion in AUM, but they're really good at that. And I think it's because they want to be as efficient as possible. So that's really admirable, and it gives them a little bit of a competitive advantage.
Wow, that's nice. Thank you, Lisa, so much. That's the end of the interview. If any students are watching, I'm sure that you guys, can definitely use the insights and like expertise that Lisa has shared with us today. It was really amazing hearing from you, and thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in to KFN.